Okay, today we're going to do solving one-step equations. So please pull out your Cornell notes and follow along as I show you how to solve one-step equations. Uh, you remember you can pause the video to take additional notes or if you miss something or to write something down. Okay, please add to your notes if it will help you. Okay, as I said in your Cornell notes, there's 4 ways to solve one-step equations. So if I had an equation like this, let's see, x minus 7 equals 12. Now, I need to get the variable all by itself. That's how you find the value of the variable. Um, So what I need to do is move all the other numbers in the equation so that the variable can be by itself. In this case, there's only one number that we need to move. So you need to use the additive inverse. The additive inverse, if you remember, is the opposite sign because we want to make this 0. So I have x minus 7, so I need to do the opposite, which is to add 7. I want to get 0 on this side. But whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I have to do on the other side of the equal sign. That's what the equal sign means. Both sides equal the same. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides. When I do, I can bring the x down because I'm not doing anything to it. And then 7 minus 7 is 0. We don't need to write the 0, so I can go right ahead and write the equal sign and then add this side. 12 plus 7 is 19. So the value of x is 19. The next one is to use subtraction. So say I had an equation that was q plus 5 equals 27. So I see my variable. I need to get it by itself, so that means I need to move the 5. In order to move the 5, I have to make this 0, so I'm going to use the additive inverse, and I'm going to subtract 5 because it's asking me to add 5. I'm going to do the opposite. One thing you can tell yourself to remember, opposite operation. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. So I'll bring the q down because I haven't done anything to it. 5 minus 5 is 0. And remember, you don't have to write the 0. So I just wrote my equal sign. And 27 minus 5 equals 22. So the value of q is 22. My next example is to use multiplication. So multiplication, you need to find the multiplicative inverse or the reciprocal. It's also called the reciprocal. So say I had, let's see, x divided by 4 equals 12. Okay, x divided by 4 equals 12. We want to get the x by itself. And so you can see this is a fraction. So it's a division problem. So we have to use the multiplicative inverse of x over 4, which would be 4. That will get rid of the 4 here. So that means I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. So this is a quick way in algebra to write multiplication. So remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. That's what makes the equation equal. These 4's will cancel out. If you always multiply by the denominator, when it looks like this, they will cancel out, and what you have left is x. So I can write my x equals, what we're going for here, remember, is 1. Okay? 4 times x over 4 is 1x, or x. So on this side, we multiply and we get 48. So the value of x is 48. The next example is division. To use division. Now, we call it division because it has a fraction in it, and fractions in algebra we write, and division in algebra we write as fractions. So if I had, let's see, 2/3 p equals 16. Okay, so I'm going to say 2/3 p equals 16. Now, this is considered division because this is a fraction. In order to do the division, we need the multiplicative inverse or the reciprocal. In other words, all we need to do is flip the fraction and multiply by that fraction by this, and we'll get 1. And that is the goal for using the multiplicative inverse. So I need to flip the fraction, take the reciprocal, and multiply it by 2/3 p. And on the other side, we're going to multiply 16 by 3/2 by the fraction that we just flipped. So when I do this, this will become 1 because this is 6/6, which is 1. So I can just write p. If you flip the fraction, it will always, and multiply, it will always be 1. Now here, we're going to get, if we multiply straight across, we can put this over 1 to see it easier if you'd like, and we would get 48/2. 16 times 3 is 48, and 1 times 2 is 2. And now we can just reduce. And 48 divided by 2 equals 24. So the value of p is 24. Now, if you have any questions, go back, use the back button, and watch how I do each example. If you have any questions when you come to class the next time we meet and we do our homework, please ask your questions. You know, it might be a good idea to write your questions down and bring it to class. So, your entrance ticket. The next time we meet, you will have to show me your entrance ticket. I forgot how to spell entrance there for a minute. So your entrance ticket is to solve x plus 4 equals 7. There you go. Have a nice evening, and I'll see you the next time we meet. Bye.